When it comes to top beef, the first thing people think of is Kobe beef. In addition to Kobe beef, is there the world's top beef? Today we recommend the world's top 10 beef, with Japanese beef occupying the top 3. Let's eat meat together. Kobe beef. Japan's top beef is famous for its instant taste. Compared with ordinary beef, Kobe beef has fine meat quality, clear marbling, and even fat distribution of lean meat. No matter what kind of cooking method is used, it is delicious enough to make you want to turn around. Kobe beef is expensive, not only because it is guaranteed not to cross, but also because the breeding time is up to 2.5 years, while the beef cattle breeding time in most countries is less than 1 year. Recommended restaurant, Baichio, Japan. As the first best restaurant in Japan on the list of tourists' first choice, this simple and unadorned restaurant has won the unanimous recognition of tourists all over the world for its authentic ingredients and friendly service. The open kitchen allows diners to closely observe every detail of the restaurant and enrich the dining experience. Step booking tips: because the seats are limited, if you want to taste delicious food, you'd better book in advance. 2. Matsuoka beef. Kobe cattle and Matsuzaka cattle are cattle from 2 major production areas. Even if they occupy a place in the top beef, strict Japanese still give beef 15 grades according to the fat heterozygosity, meat color, meat density, and fat color of beef. Sombon high-grade beef is the first choice for making beef sashimi, while other different parts are suitable for making different dishes, including rhinoceros head roast beef, diced beef and beef rice. Recommended restaurant, Matsuzaka Beef Roast, Japan. Matsuzaka Nyo, with the same name as Kobe Nyo, is the sign of this store. Unlike other beef restaurants on the list, this restaurant requires guests to cook their own beef. Do it yourself, get plenty of food and clothing, has also become a characteristic experience. After dinner, you can order another glass of whiskey in the restaurant bar. There is wine and meat, but it is all for an easy life. 3. Missile beef. Missile cattle also belong to black hair cattle and cattle in Japan. They have their own grades and high standards in terms of meat quality, fat distribution and grain, color and luster. Its loin and legs are suitable for sashimi or barbecue, and the taste is full, fat and thin. Missile steak is also a good choice. Recommended restaurant, Missile, Marumi, Japan. This shop is the best place to taste missile beef. The quality of beef in the store is guaranteed. The taste and pattern are all top. You can taste missile beef prepared by different methods here. If there are many people, it is recommended to taste rhinoceros head roast, hot pot or original barbecue. Western-style cold steak is necessary. For Australia and cattle. Australian and Japanese cattle are hybrids of ancient Australian breeds and Japanese cattle. Compared with the top purebred cattle in Japan, the cost performance of Australian and Japanese cattle is more than half higher. Australia's fresh and natural air, water, and edible grass ensure that beef meat is delicious and pollution-free, and the quality appraisal has a strict grade. The best black cattle and cattle in Hong Kong market are mostly from Australia. Recommended restaurant, Rare Steak Restaurant in Residential Area, Australia. If you want to eat the most delicious steak in Australia, don't miss it. Australian beef has rich flavor and delicious taste. Beef with oars can be eaten with vegetables according to taste. It is suggested to try the original beef without sauce first. In addition, the slim here is really beyond imagination. 5. New Zealand beef. New Zealand is sparsely populated, surrounded by the sea on all sides, and has large pastures. The beef here is naturally grazed and raised with pure grass, so New Zealand is also one of the top 10 beef exporters in the world. Natural pasture makes New Zealand beef especially sweet and fresh. Compared with other rare and beef varieties, the price of New Zealand beef is not high, and it is of high quality and low price. Low fat and low calorie are very popular. There are many classic dishes, such as fried beef ribs, which are fresh and tender, and hot pot is also a great choice. Recommended restaurant, Soof's Steakhouse in Queenstown, New Zealand. The Soof's Steakhouse in Queenstown, which won the Excellence Award, is a good place to eat steak. There are a variety of steaks for diners to choose from, the best of which is the steaks made from local fresh New Zealand beef, and there are many sauces to try. 6. Chianina beef. Chiana cattle is an ancient Italian cattle breed, and is now the largest beef cattle breed in the world. The cattle on the table are generally cattle, because bulls are used for breeding and reproduction. It is very white and looks noble. This kind of beef is often sliced raw. Eat. The meat is fresh but not greasy. Classic dish, deliberately roasted Chiana beef. Recommended restaurant, Ristorante San Domenico, Italy. Here is the most delicious roast Chiana T-bone steak, which is a must for almost every customer. The meat is very drinkable and tastes carbon. It's better to use the sauce made by the restaurant. Remind me that steak is enough and don't eat too many dishes. 7. Canadian beef. Unlike beef cattle growing up on grass and fodder, Canadian cattle have a unique nutritional environment. In Canada, the grain yield is rich. Cattle growing up on barley, wheat and corn naturally taste good. Although the cost is high, the beef is good and cheap. Many common dishes on the market, such as beef fillet and ribs, are Canadian beef. With rich flavor and full taste, it is also a good product of beef. Recommended restaurant, Jacob's Steak Restaurant, Canada. It is one of the best beef restaurants in Toronto, with modern decoration and excellent service. From the store manager to the chef, from the bartender to the waiter, almost everyone knows how to help guests choose beef meals. The beef here is very good. Caesar salad is a must as a side dish. Of 8. Angus beef. Angus cattle is a kind of hornless black beef cattle, originating in the northeast of Scotland. This kind of beef is not available in China. Only in Scotland can you taste the most authentic Angus beef, which is even used in many domestic dishes. The famous Angus steak is the best way to cook this kind of beef. After more than 100 years of fame, people still love it. Angus beef pie with local seafood is the best choice. Recommended restaurant, Muscle Steak Bar, Scotland. This restaurant does not slander the strong recommendation of food lovers. Greenmouth and 38-week Angus steak are their specialties. Chinko is stewed with onions and baijiu. It's delicious. Take a piece of bread and vegetable juice, delicious. There are not many steaks, the meat is fresh and tender, and the roast temperature is very good. 2 people's portions are enough. 9. Aubrac beef. On the French shoulder pole grassland with an altitude of several dry meters, this vast natural pasture is the home of Onilla cattle. This ancient beef variety is tender, flexible and juicy, and requires high cooking skills, but it will not fail. The classic round steak is perfect with potatoes, vegetables and vanilla paddles. Recommended restaurant, Sacred Heart Lotus, France. Come and eat meat in this popular French restaurant. It is strongly recommended to make filet steak or T-bone steak with flat round beef. The meat is tender, juicy and elastic. 3 kinds of oars, you can choose to eat potatoes or fried twilight sticks. Don't forget to have another dessert after dinner. Alcohol in the store. Paddle ice cream is worth tasting. 10. Charlotte beef. The white Charlotte cattle is the top beef cattle breed in France, which is originated in the red wine-rich Burgundy region. The meat is fat and tender. Each cow has its own ID card, which can be seen in many beef restaurants. It is not only suitable for steak, but also suitable for barbecue, rinsing and cooking. Recommended restaurant, Chez Fernand Christine, France.